Jeremiah 1:1-10. So it talks about how God called Jeremiah, and he said to Jeremiah, before he formed Jeremiah in the womb, he knew him. And before Jeremiah was born, he consecrated Jeremiah and appointed Jeremiah as a prophet to the nations. And I guess Jeremiah is still in his youth at this time, so he's like, oh, but I'm young. And God said, do not be afraid, and God put a word of God in his mouth. So when I read this, a lot of people use these verses and apply it to themselves, but I think there's a danger in that, because this is for sure like Cyrus. Jeremiah was like, God knew what Jeremiah would do, and God knew what he would use Cyrus for. And so like there are certain people that this applies to them, and I do think that before we were formed too, God knows us, and God knows like our end before and our beginning. But to say that we are to use these specific words that are meant for Jeremiah to us, I think there's a certain danger in that. We might overestimate ourselves. We do know that God has vessels of honor as well as vessels that are not, like, like God says some vessels are used as a chamber pot. It still have its uses, but it doesn't mean that we are all called to be prophets, because we each have different gifts. Some of us are gifted in certain thing, but not all of us are gifted in prophecy. And so although we are prophets of God in the sense that we proclaim his word, but still I feel like, to me, there's a hint of something's not right in applying what God said to Jeremiah to us, although we can learn from it that we are formed by God, and God knows us. God knows our days, and that even though we might be young, if we have God's hand on us and he calls us to do things, he will empower us the same way that he empowered Jeremiah.